I've just purchased the iPad Pro from 2020 and I still think it holds a ton of value. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about my thoughts and feelings regarding buying this iPad in 2021. Just to start out, I think there is no problem in purchasing an older model of an iPad, just because you can get it for cheaper or because it is not really that old and you can get it at a low price. And that's exactly what I did. So let's get informing. The iPad Pro 2020 is an outstanding iPad packed with so many features. And it may even be better getting this iPad more than the M1 iPad that just came out. Really, it is all depending on what you are going to be using your iPad for. On my iPad, I love drawing, editing photos and videos, writing notes, and scanning documents. Also, that list just keeps going on and on. Some of my favorite features are on both iPads, and that is why I chose this 2020 iPad over the M1 iPad, just because I saw it had more value. I personally believe that you should just buy what you need right now. And that means that if you need a new iPad, then just get it for what you need now or in the next few months, not years from now, just because you may need a new device before then. For most, this iPad is going to be enough to perform your daily tasks and needs. This iPad is a great option if you have a base model or a mini iPad, because really this iPad can do so much. So let me talk about my favorite features that can be found on both iPads. First is the placement of the Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil is an amazing little device that hooks to your iPad, and I really think that the placement now is so much better than the first generation. It used to look like you were holding up a huge popsicle, which I personally didn't think was safe, or it didn't look good. It is easy to reach and doesn't take up any ports. And one of the best things about it is that it always stays charged. So unlike the other Apple Pencil, I always find myself needing to charge it because it would always go dead. So second is multitasking. It is an amazing way to open up and use different applications at the same time. And sometimes you could even use the same application at once. So all it really is opening up different applications and splitting up your screen. It is a quick way to get things done, and you don't even have to click on each browser for whenever you want to use it. So that's one of my gripes about using multitasking on the Mac. And lastly is the easy to use form factor of multitasking, because even the people that don't even really know how to use multitasking can pick it up super easily. Third is the form factor of the device. So it is the same as the M1 iPad, but the 12.9 inch is a tiny bit wider, and that's the reason that you will have to buy a new keyboard. The 11 inch iPad is super easy to take on the go, and it doesn't take up too much space for whenever you are going on trips or just to like a coffee shop to get work done. The 12.9 inch iPad is a tiny bit larger, and it just gives you a little bit more space for screen real estate. It is great for drawing because you can see more of your drawing and your canvas on the screen at the same time. Although the 12.9 inch iPad with the M1 chip inside is a better screen now. It comes with mini LED technology and a XDR display, and this just gives you more high contrasty colors and more saturated stuff, and the blacks are super black and the whites are super white. Although there has been some complaints about blooming on this iPad. A great way to choose what size you want for your iPad is just kind of what accessories you're going to put on it. So if you are drawing, then the 12.9 inch might be a little bit better. And if you're typing, then maybe the smaller one would be better, just because that extra keyboard is going to weigh a lot more. And if you just keep on adding weight to it, it might just feel more like a computer. So the fourth and last thing that I love about the iPad, which is on both, is the desktop interface experience. Safari is a great application to show this off because you are now able to open up desktop browsers, enabling you to even have more features than before. You were able to download all types of files and documents right from the Safari application directly to the Files app. You were able to type in Google Docs in the same interface on the computer. Inside of the Creator Studio by YouTube, you were able to tweak different aspects of your video, such as the in cards. The Files app is super cool because you were able to browse all of your files on your iPad. It is still not as good as the Finder on your Mac, but it is still pretty easy to use and it's still pretty good. You were able to plug in hard drives and SD cards so that you can transfer files from your iPad onto those devices to free up space on your internal storage. So for a brief M1 explanation, if you don't really know what it is. The M1 iPad Pro comes with 8 cores of CPU and 8 cores of GPU. You were able to get 8 gigabytes of RAM on all of the iPad Pro models with 128, 256, and 512 gigabytes. But with the 1 terabyte and the 2 terabyte model now, you were able to get 16 gigabytes of RAM. Only bad thing though is that no applications at the moment are using any of that RAM. M1 increases the power on your device and it enables you to do everything super snappy. I feel that the M1 MacBook Pro was an incredible upgrade, but you really just need to buy whatever you need and that aligns with what you were going to be using the iPad for. It packs so much power that you only really need to buy a new iPad with the M1 chip in it if you were editing multiple lines of 4K video, animating graphics, or anything really with high processor intensive work. That might be one reason that you should maybe get the iPad over the computer. For my final conclusion, you need to be intentional for your purchase. Only buy what you need and what you need at this moment or in the next few months. Really, just go with what seems right. If you find an iPad Pro 2020 that's a lot cheaper, then go with that. And I have not seen any complaints about this iPad. Also, if you want to purchase accessories for the iPad, then use that to help you make your purchase. So if you enjoyed this video, then click right here to watch my video where I explain everything about Apple going carbon neutral by 2030. And click right here to watch my playlist where I talk all about my favorite tips and tricks about all Apple products. And have you subscribed yet? Then click right here and subscribe to my channel so you do not miss any of my upcoming videos that I create. Thank you for stopping in.